Alright y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Trinae, aka the Legacy Brain Strategist.
Alright, where can they find you? What's your Instagram?
My Instagram name is Trinae M Fountain. That's TRENEEMFOUNTAIN.
Damn, slow it down.
You gonna put it on my screen?
Yeah, I'm saying, goddamn. Alright y'all, it's been a minute, but as you know, my name's Stacy. You can follow me on social media at AyoStacy. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button because at 1,000 subs, I'm giving away the AirPod Pro. So y'all stay tuned for that. But today, we got a mukbang going on and we're gonna get real deep. This might get a little spicy. So today we're gonna talk about interracial relationships. We're gonna give both our opinions on here. But so what you think? What's your personal opinion, or when you hear interracial relationships, what do you think?
Interracial relationships just don't give for me because, like I told you, we had this talk. Like my mama, my hardworking black mama, ain't raising a black man to go and admire a white woman. You know what I mean? Because they never gonna get it.
Get what? Like hard work? So you're saying
they're never gonna get the biases. They're never gonna get just simply how we do things. Everything's so different. They're never 100% gonna get it. And why would you want to marry or even be in love or just be in a relationship with someone that's never gonna 100% get you?
Do you think black on black will 100% understand and get each other?
No, but they'll get the core. I feel like when you're dating someone that's black, they already understand most things why you do things. So you only have the regular stuff to worry about, like trust, loyalty. You only have that kind of stuff to worry about. Whereas when you're in a relationship, with a white person or with a person that is not black, they don't get regular stuff like black people. Like so why black people do certain things.
You being more specific on far as like what we go through as an everyday person being black, or you talking about brutality, or are you talking about the way we react to certain things, our language, our slang?
All of the above. Generally, another race is not gonna get why black people do what black people do. Just like we don't get what white people do, or we don't get what Mexican people do. We're never gonna 100% understand that core why we do things, right? So why would we step into a relationship where we have to deal with other issues like loyalty, trust, respect, and you also just don't get why I do certain stuff? Does that make sense?
So with that being said, you wouldn't take the time out to see if you can help them understand a little bit better? They're not gonna be able to understand 100%.
I don't know what the Lord has planned for me, but it's a no for me. I'm not gonna, because you're never gonna understand me. You can always take the time to understand, but you're never gonna understand me. No matter how poor you grew up, no matter where you from, you're never gonna 100% understand why. You're just never gonna 100% understand. You're not gonna understand. I don't even know how to explain it. You're not gonna understand why we reuse the butter bucket and put leftovers in there. You're not gonna understand that. You're not gonna understand that as a white person or as a Mexican person, or as maybe a Mexican will understand. But as a white person, you're not gonna understand why we reuse that.
So are you saying basically only minorities understand minorities?
Most of the time, yes.
So the rich wouldn't understand minorities?
Heck no.
Okay.
I mean, rich white people. I mean, I feel like a black person who's rich or a wealthy minority would understand, but to a certain extent.
And that's you specifically speaking on the black or the white, far as a rich minority. Well, you just said minority, so obviously it'd be a black. So, have you ever met a rich minority?
Have I ever met? Yeah.
Now, what type of vibes did you get from him? Did you, or her, he or she, what type of vibes?
Like, I made it kind of vibes, and I'm the main character in my own life vibes.
This shit busting. But, did you also get any type of vibes of cockiness or looking down on their own people or what?
From the specific person, no. But I have seen that is a thing. But I just feel like when unless somebody's being blatantly disrespectful to you, if you're around someone who's wealthy and you feel like someone is talking, or like if you feel like you're being put down or not necessarily looked at as an equal, it's probably your own insecurities.
No.
Most times, yes.
Hell, I gotta disagree with you on that one. It's been a couple of times where it's like, you can catch their vibe, you can catch their energy, and be like, damn, fool, you ain't gotta act like that. Like, I'm pretty sure you wasn't given silver spoons when you first was born.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I understand
But act like what specifically? Because I did mention that unless it's blatant disrespect.
I mean, it depends on how anybody take disrespect. Like, you know, somebody can tell you to shut up. You might, hey, that's disrespectful. Watch your mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
But on the point is where it's like, okay, you got money. You know what I mean? But the way you acting is like, don't ever forget where you came from, depending on where you came from. Now, if you was born into silver spoons type shit, then that's a whole totally different story. You gonna act the way you was raised. You know what I mean? You're not gonna understand or know how to adapt and change, and also be like, okay, I'll never forget how I came from. So if we become both millionaires, you know what I mean?
Don't put no if for me.
Okay, when we both become millionaires, speaking to manifestation, you feel me? When we both become millionaires, we're not gonna look down on anybody, you know what I'm saying? Because we know how hard we had to fight to become a millionaire. We know how hard we had to go through certain situations and overcome steps to become millionaires. So therefore, we're not gonna look down on somebody or frown our face when somebody asks for some help or for some knowledge.
But I'm speaking to the point of where if, like this even happens to me now and I'm not nowhere near financially where I want to be, where I would do something that's different from how I was raised and it seems as if I'm too good from what I was doing then. That's what I'm speaking to for the most part, because people think that growing out of things is kind of like looking down on whoever didn't grow out of it. Like does that make sense?
Growing out of things, what you mean?
Growing out of things. So I don't even know how to, I want to make an example, but I can't even think of anything. But for instance, something that you grew up doing. Think about something that you grew up doing and you now don't do it for whatever reason. Maybe you have more access to resources. Maybe you just don't do it because you're traumatized from it. For whatever reason, you don't do it now. But let's say a family member that grew up doing those same things come around and they are like, they feel kind of disrespected that you don't do that, or they make a comment that's like, oh, he think he's too good for doing la 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 now.
Okay, I get where you're going.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That kind of stuff is personal. Like,
I mean, that's also common sense though, because if you grew up playing, you know, knicker-knocker where you just knocking on people's doors and taking off, like, you did that when you was a teenager. Mm-hmm. You in your 20s, like, you too grown to be doing that. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I want to take that as somebody being like, are you looking down? But at the same time, it's like maturity and growth.
Okay.
So we can't look down on somebody who's like, yo, we did that back in the past when we was kids. Like, we too old. Like, our bones ain't even the same no more. We try and knock on somebody's door and take off running. We gonna feel it in the morning. You ain't gonna get me past the door. I'm just the truth. So, you know what I mean? But, like, to do comparison to the rich, like, both black and white, like, when both of them rich, that the color don't mean anything. Like, they can both look down. So when it comes to interracial relationships, why is it like people stereotype? Like, when they see a black man with a white woman,
it's not giving. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But everybody, hear me out. When people see interracial relationships, when they see a white man with a black woman, they say, "Oh, she with him because he got money, he got good credit." When they see a black man with a white woman, they be like, "Oh, she's trailer trash, or she's a bum, or you know, he's very masculine. He run the show and stuff like that." So they like belowing like the standards of that white woman and saying like her character is like being belittled, but they don't do that to the black woman because they assume that the white man is successful. Why is that? Why is that such a stereotype?
That perspective I'm aware of, but it's not why I'm not into interracial relationships. Does that make sense?
Not
like,
really.
That's not so that's not a factor for me when it comes to interracial relationships because all things are different, and that's talking about those things, that's just generally relationship issues, right?
No, we don't know what the issues are. We're on the outside looking in.
That's my point. So that's like, people do that with regular relationships. Let's say me and my friend. Let's say me and my dude or whatever. Let's say somebody look at me and say, "Oh, I'm just with him for his money." That's general problems that any interracial relationship any relationship would have, not just interracial relationships. You get what I'm saying?
True.
What I'm speaking to is more so to the fact where you don't know who I am to the core. You don't know why I do certain things. Generally, you don't know why I do certain things. But I do get what you're saying. There is those stereotypes, but that's not enough for me to say, oh, I don't even know how to say it, but that's not enough for me to say, oh, I get it. Maybe I should try an interracial relationship. Would you ever date a white woman?
Me personally, no. And it's not because I'm racist. It's not because, let me say it again, I'm not racist. I actually have white in my blood. My granny white. My whole side of the family, my dad's side is white.
My granny white.
So that has nothing to do with me being racist. Me personally, I just wouldn't do it just because, like, that wouldn't be, everybody have a preference. So I guess that's the best word you can use.
These white women ain't giving.
What do you mean by giving? I'm not gonna say that. What do you mean by giving? I'm not gonna say a white woman can't give me what a black woman can. I'm not gonna say a white woman or a Mexican woman can't give me what a black woman can. You know what I mean? How do you know? Are you friends with any white women and have you been deep inside their relationship and in comparison to what you can give compared to a white woman can give to her man?
I know the power and the magic that a black woman gives and holds. So I know damn well, can I curse? I know damn well a white woman ain't giving what a black woman is giving. They don't go through what we go through on a daily basis. They and I'm not racist either. I'm not a racist person. I just know that there is differences. They don't have to, they can get by with being mediocre. Black women cannot do that. Just get by with being mediocre.
Mediocre as far as when it comes inside of relationships? Oh, okay, so basically don't be average.
Yes,
as a human being. They
can be average. White women can do whatever and it can be average or it can be mediocre. Black women, we have to go above and beyond to even be accepted at the bare minimum. So, with that said, with our wits being,
I think what you just said, that goes to black women being accepted, because there are a lot of black men who down talk black women 100%. In general. 100%. Like for the black guys who say, this black women ain't shit, or black women don't know how to treat a man, or black women don't listen, they don't shut up. Like, y'all belittling black women in general. So now that opens up the door for people to disrespect black women. That I don't agree with. I had a friend who was like, if it ain't white, it ain't right.
Huh? Oh no. Did you reevaluate your friendship after that?
Yeah, I definitely had I didn't judge him. I definitely had to have a talk with him. But it's like when I understood and heard where he grew up and how he grew up and seeing where he grew up, I was like, okay, I see why he would say that, because he was a suburban kid, so that's all he knew. He knew white. He grew up white. You know what I'm saying? He never crossed them railroad tracks. Mm-hmm. That still doesn't give him the right to down talk his own people. Right. But like when he was raised in a certain area and he's seen only certain things, and he's seen that like how white women treat other black men, that's all he know. When he seen like how submissive they are to black men, he took it and ran with it. Not saying black women can't be submissive, but I'm just telling you what he saw, what I'm assuming that he saw.
That's funny. So that's funny that you kind of bring that up, because I don't know if you know Fantasia. I'm sure you know who Fantasia is.
Yeah, the singer.
Yeah. Okay. So not too long ago, Fantasia and her new husband was talking about how a woman has to be submissive to the husband, which is absolutely true. In order for a man to lead properly.
Define submissive for the people who don't know.
Submissive, I can't not think of the actual.
It ain't all about sex.
No, it's definitely not about sex.
Okay.
In my opinion, that's the last part.
Okay.
Submissiveness is basically being able to allow your man to lead, basically. Being able to, in anything, being able to submit to another person or to your partner. Anywho. So, Fantasia was talking about how you have to be submissive to your man or whatever. But there was a twofold. You have to be submissive, but a man has to be someone to submit to. Meaning, he has to be a leader. Like, he has to be able to lead. He has to be able to show you that he can lead enough for you to trust him enough to submit to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You can't just tell me to sit back, let me lead, and I ain't showing you no results.
Right. So let's
drop in the comments of what y'all think about the whole interracial relationships. What do y'all believe in, and what do y'all think? Even if y'all disagree with anything that we say, y'all let us know. This was never about to hate any other race, down talk any race. We just basically letting our feelings go. But this is where we ended. Go ahead and let them know again where they can follow you at and how they can find you.
This is fun. You can find me on Instagram at Trenee M Fountain. That's TreneeMFountain. That's on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook. So yeah, this is fun.
Y'all know where to find me. Instagram, Ayo Stacy. Facebook, Ayo Stacy. Like I said, 1,000 subscribers, AirPod Pro giveaway, which is really around the corner. So y'all stay tuned because another video is dropping soon, and we out.